Like I said back in the end of the school brawl at the end of Season 2, it's all fun and games till someone gets hurt. And when it happened again, Season 6 Part 2 shockingly ended with Kwan's impalement and death on Kreese's fancy Unjang-do. What possibly could happen next? How does it all end? This is the final season. These are the final 5 episodes. This is the Cobra Kai Day finale. For now. There's a movie coming out that has Machio in it. Season 6, Episode 11, Into the Fire. Bonus points if Dokken plays. Back in Korea, the students Viking funeral Kwan, that's why it's called that, and are all left to face Kim Sun-young. Kwan's only family was this dojo, so it hits extra hard for Dae-Un and Kreese, who rightfully blames himself for what transpired. And meanwhile, back in the States, bad news in the school for Robbie, not getting into college at this point. As always, next year. Sweet how both biological parents, Robbie and Shannon, both with partners of their own even. Carmen with Johnny, new guy with Shannon. Never revealed who it is. Just a hello, Shannon, and goodbye. Daniel, in the meantime, has Anusha and Louie worried. Apparently, there's not going to be any more bonsais to buying customers at the dealership. Louie suspects something's up. Elsewhere, Gunther, away from public eyes, is found by Terry Silver trying to negotiate the return of the Sekai Taikai, not wanting to end the way it did. Gunther says the only way he'd even consider it is if all senseis are on board. Not hard to convince Kim Sun-young. Yoon's his ace now, even going so far as saying, "We take one of theirs now," during training, guilt-tripping Kreese that, Kwan died when he got involved with you. He was a special student. You know who else was a special student? Turner. That captain that taught Kreese and Nam. You let him die too. Just watching as Yoon dissects his fellow students with his bare hands, being taught a training method that, let's just say it makes the silver bullet that Kenny learned look like a paper cut. Daniel's last car sale was to a head of UCLA's Stanford dream into dust after the Sekai Taikai, but this is Sam's next best shot. Phone call for senseis LaRusso and Lawrence, who came in after hearing about Robbie. Johnny's stoked to get his students back in. Daniel, still shell-shocked by the whole ordeal, says no. Johnny later in his place with Carmen, venting a little bit at this while building his newborn's crib. He's a little relenting to let his dream die. But Carmen mostly is all, we got a lot here. Not many people get to live their dreams. You got a family coming in. So he's a little bit reluctant, but he understands. Word must travel fast all the way in Korea. Or wherever Silver's at, too. He hears from Gunther about LaRusso's refusal, as Kreese now is against returning to the Sekai Taikai. Telling Sun-young he sent June away and returns the Unjang-do and walks away after stating, "Dae-un's not you, and should not be taking part in this, shouldn't be leading this. I'm gonna go." After Kreese departs, Sun-young says to her granddaughter, he's right. Dae-un tells him she can lead. She put her whole being into this, being her family's karate. Sun-young puts the dagger in Dae-un's hands and unsheaths it, saying, "Prove yourself ready to lead, so this dojang doesn't die with me." Had to look up this person again. Cousin Vanessa, played by Ralph Macchio's daughter Julia. She was the one who showed up in Psychiatricized. That is a word. Psychiatristed? That's what I got in here. Yeah. Showing up all over Amanda back in Season 4 about Anthony, with LaRusso being the real bully trope became reality. We hear her name again later when Louie finds out she and Anusha are dating. She's back at it again, trying to get details on Sam's trip to Barcelona. It's like, what happened? From that, she finds out Sam wants to college it a little further away from the folks. Amanda sympathizes with Sam's choice. Not sure how Daniel will feel about it. Ooh, by the way, when they see him, turns out when he said no bonsais, he meant ever. Now something's up. As Johnny's on test drive details, Silver's the one in the car trying to force his hand to, convince LaRusso. Not sure how Johnny's going to help with that. Mostly more guilt-tripping. Do the kids know the offer's on the table? That sort of thing. But now that he mentions, I don't think Johnny said a word to Robbie or McGill. Then again, he tells Silver no. Maybe Carmen's bittersweet but convincing argument won out. Wouldn't have a show if that were the case. Back in Korea, Kreese tells Dae-un he's leaving, but doesn't have anywhere else to go. Then again, you don't need me. No one did. I got clarity so late in my life. If you devote your life to the concept of the way of the fist, The no mercy way? It just consumes you. It's too late for me, not you, though. You're not your grandfather. You will lead your dojo your way. Do what you have to do, and I'll be proud of you for it. Amanda, now realizing Daniel's indeed bottling things up, tells him so. Afterwards, Johnny and Silver show up at his house. Latter saying, no more games, you pick the stipulations and the referees, I'll finance it. Neither Johnny or Daniel buy it. But it does appear that Silver is saying some truth when he tells them that this is all he had. You needed to know my angle? That's it. He leaves and Johnny tells Daniel, you trusted me enough, I'll trust you too. The kids do need this. I think you and me do too. But if your answer's still no after all this, I will abide. They also agree that the danger will resurface the second things go awry for Silver, so keep an eye out. Dae-Un, it seems like she was coming to end Kreese, but she attacks Master Kim with the knife. He knows this and defends himself for a bit. In the end, Dae-Un wins and takes the dojang for herself, smiling as he passes away. Kreese awaits her outside as Dae-Un tells him, this will be the last time we meet. You've still time to be a good sensei and a good person, Kreese tells her. Nah, I've been bad for too long. Gotta pack my bags for the tournament. I got unfinished business. Speaking of business, the car dealership, Daniel makes a big speech saying, thanks for 18 years of LaRusso. Privately, the kids ask, hey, is the tournament back on? Daniel says yes. No docking for this episode. The only thing that goes into the fire, so to speak, is Kwan's funeral at the start and Dae-Un tossing the Unjang-do after Master Kim's death. Bookmarking! Season 6, Episode 12, Rattled. Gunther says, it's been a month since Barcelona. I'm here in the valley to ensure that this goes down with complete professionalism. Cut to the bickering committee. All about the blue mats, red mats, sort of thing. Daryl pulls rank. He's like, when Gunther tells him, when I raise the mic, we exude total professionalism. Daryl's like, you raise the mic? I'm the one who says karate when it's karate time in the valley. Gunther's like, all right, we'll settle this the old-fashioned way. And in the hallway, Gunther bequeaths Daryl
a boot to the head.
A what? Ow!
I guess Gunther's going to say when karate time is, after all. Chosen one! Tending to the LaRusso back garden, gets a letter from Kumiko. Didn't get your message for a long time. Issues with the phone company. I love you as a friend, but my heart lies elsewhere. So the LaRusso's double date set up to keep him from going Barcelona bender again in their own home. Rosa always doing things the old way is pretty miffed that Johnny with Carmen first came love, then skipped marriage. Is Johnny going to go to church? I get a shot at Pastor Bobby again one more time. Meanwhile, the Binary Bros have a plan to get Robbie up to fighting Axel, while Sam tries to talk Tori into going to the tournament. Says, while she's never wearing a Cobra Kai key again, she does look like she gets talked into training Sam to fight that man-stealer Zara, enemy of my enemy. Chosen meets his date, Moon's mother, Winnie, at a vineyard. A little too heavy-handed with the granola lifestyle. Chosen's like, oh, heating crystals. Very much bullshit. Sure enough, Johnny does meet Robbie, who relieves Johnny's fears a bit. Rosa got him right spooked with the make it right with God talk. Johnny tells him, I did plan to propose. It just never worked out. I was going to do it after the Sekai Taikai win, so we'd be set for life. Wouldn't have to worry about all this stuff anymore and be able to buy a new house. And as soon as we walked in, right there, I popped the question. Bobby tells him, when does anything really go perfect in life? Good and bad days, don't wait around, take the leap. Binary Bros got a working but experimental VR setup, fully integrated generative haptic technology, FIGHT for short. It makes it look like Robbie is fighting Axel himself, the part of which will be played by Miguel. So they spar. Things looking up for Chosen and winning after sharing their fondness for trash reality TV, a lot of Storage Wars and such. At least Chosen was cool enough to tell her at the end, look, I got bad news, not your fault, so they kinda... As Robbie's original 12% calculated chance of winning against Axel is dropping, Sam and Tori fight it out, and the former tries again to understand why Tori won't compete. Tori's like, I don't want to screw things up any more than they already have. My mom died and my whole world exploded. Sam tells Tori, I don't even want UCLA. I got this, planning on this year program in Okinawa. Tori with advice stating, don't keep secrets from your loved ones. It's only going to make things worse. Sam with her own advice telling her, we'll support you, Cobra Kai gi or no Cobra Kai gi. Your friends will understand. Johnny does the whole 9. Flowers, took a cooking class, got a violin band. So we can pop the question when Carmen walks in, gets Rosa instead. False alarm. Take 5. Rosa apologizes for the pressure she put on him. She knows Johnny well enough now that he'll make good. And the proposal will have to wait a little longer as Johnny gets a phone call. Carmen's water broke. It's baby time. Winnie Tarot reads Chosen on his life. Rough upbringing. Someone you know is going to die real soon, but your journey will end with a partner that matches your strength and intensity. And immediately thinks about Dae-Un. Tells Winnie, we come from 2 different worlds. It's impossible. She tells him, no, don't give up. Miguel gets Robbie's head right, saying, screw the percentages. I beat you once and you came back with a win because you were determined to. Focused. You didn't care about numbers or odds. You just kicked ass. Numbers are for pussies. Robbie's like, it's scary how much you sound like my dad right there. Miguel replies, yeah, we both know him enough to know he's not a numbers guy. There's binary bros and there's badass bros. Speaking of Johnny, he gets to the hospital, pops the question. She says yes. Bobby comes in. We're doing the nuptials right then and there. And just in time after the whole man and wife may kiss the bride, it's time. We close the episode with a newborn Laura Lawrence Diaz. Laura was Johnny's mother's name. So yeah, that whole episode was sad. But, get all your ducks lined in a row before the Sekai Taikai, which is back on in Season 6, Episode 13, Skeletons. Interviews from Johnny Daniel Silver with the Iron Dragons laid it on thick. Me and Miyagi were friends, shared a student even. For better or worse, Miyagi-Do's world known now. They also state that Kreese has been a no-show so far, rejecting all interviews. He is at a show at Tori's apartment to apologize. Regrets. That's also what I have written here. Regrets letting her and Quan down. You're the last of Cobra Kai. I know you don't want me in your corner, but I will be rooting for you. Got one last thing for me to do. Gotta step aside. He goes to the tournament to tell Johnny goodbye as well. Sorry I ruined Cobra Kai. I was proud of you bringing it back. Been thinking a lot about my failures. Biggest one happened here 35 years ago. You did the right thing, saying LaRusso was the man that day. What I did then was inexcusable. Johnny tells him, yeah, I gotta go watch my son fight. And I'm like, yeah, now try apologizing for the last couple of seasons while you're at it. You pretty much poison his biological son to the No Mercy Edict for his season and change guy. A for effort. Silver frustrated in a bathroom with pills. Turns out sanity isn't the only thing he doesn't have in abundance. An echo of a doctor telling Silver 6 months. Silver's gonna glass the whole ecosystem just to win one final time. Telling Sensei Wolf, they get close to victory, you know what to do. We continue from 1 month ago. We never got the finish of Axel versus Robbie. Wolf tells Axel, he still fears you from Barcelona, make him beg. Robbie scores first point. Not looking so undefeatable now, are you, Axel? But he quickly gets angry and takes a whole new stance and 2 points off of it. Something the Binary Bros didn't program for. First round ends up 6-1. Yeah, 3 rounds, unlimited points. 1 for hit, 10 for knockdown, 20 for knockout. Wolf's pissed. Axel got hit. Just once. Robbie's not thinking he can adapt to this. Daniel tells him, nobody in the show has adapted more. Like, the shit sandwiches he's endured in life. He's gone on to save Kenny Payne, turned around Cobra Kai, made good with Dad and Miguel. A little more of an even round as Robbie plays catch-up a bit, both getting points back and forth. Second round ends with both scoring 5 points, so yeah, now it's 11-6. Oh, by the way, Amanda has embraced the full karate mom now. Call back to the first All-Valley tournament at the end of Season 1. She's got the headband, painted bonsai on her face. And he would further call back to the first movie comes when Axel gets the pressure put on him by Silver and Wolf to break Robbie's leg. 15 minutes to return to the mat where Alex wins via forfeit. They're even in the same back locker room area from the first movie. Daniel's like, Chosen, can you do the Miyagi thing on him? Chosen's like, that shit's not magic! It doesn't heal broken bones. Yeah, Bobby Brown did the same to Daniel back then, the kid with the Mark Hamill hair. And I think he might have just, like, bruised or sprained it, and that's how Miyagi was able to fix it. You know, he wasn't built up to be a beast like Axel was. He's not on the Lawrence chosen Barnes tier, let's just say. I guess he did well enough for the tournament to make it to that, like, main stage where that happened. So, Shannon's there too, almost even like, oh, you did great. I've been so proud. It's like looking in a full circle mirror. We're gonna get a lot of that. Robbie tells his dad, you know, the world may not know I could have won, but I do. Johnny's like, man, you're taking this way better than I ever would have. Robbie goes on saying, you know, instead of focusing on what I lost, I want to focus what I won. Karate's given me so much. My friends, Tori, my dad. Bad news is this puts Miyagi-Do way back in 4th place. No Cobra Kai male to challenge Axel for the men's bracket, so the Iron Dragons will secure it. Back at the LaRusso house, Sam's torn. She talked Tori back into competing, and now Miyagi-Do's chances of victory is all on her. Daniel wishes he had an answer, and I think he's in his own karate nightmare when hooded skeletons show up. Like daughter, like father, I guess. And we get Mia CGI again. Looks a little better this time, at least. Back-to-back fighting off the hooded skeletons when Daniel tearfully confronts Miyagi. Why did all this happen? Why'd you fight Sekai Taikai and all the other stuff? Miyagi reminds Daniel, winning or losing don't matter. No clear answer, but still what Daniel needed to hear. In the morning, Sam tells Daniel, I've decided not to fight. Daniel's like, oh, I'm proud. I understand Miyagi trained me so I wouldn't have to fight. So I'm so proud of you. Gotta relay the bad news to John at the Sekai Taikai. I wanted to share Miyagi-Do with the world, but senseis aren't infallible. Sam and Robbie choosing not to fight, that's the teaching of Miyagi living on. Johnny says, okay, that's great for you and them, but I didn't have that teaching. I don't know how. Oh my god. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Chris earlier said it in his talk with him. He's like, oh man, I took Cobra Kai from you. It wasn't right. And Stingray earlier in the season too, Johnny confronts a departing Chris yesterday. Ooh. The floodgates open. You know, I loved you. I idolized you. You taught me so much. I wanted to please you. So yeah, that parking lot was the worst night of my life. Worse than choking me out, you abandoned me. I trusted no one, not even myself. Kreese opens up too. I can't change the past. I wish I could make it up to you. Johnny says, maybe there is. Called it. He's back in black. I thought that was coming in. And Miguel too. But no, it was like, oh, the other ACD song, Thunderstruck. Ash Brown Cobra Kai. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. Pretty sure they used that in the episode, early season 2. So yeah, not only does Johnny get to outdo Kreese by leading better, he out-Silver with his loophole abuse. Quan made finals. Miguel's just a long overdue named replacement, so yeah, he's leading Tori and Miguel. Aww. 'Cause what are we called? Season 6, Episode 14, Strike Last. Daniel and Johnny in car on a sunny drive through the valley. Daniel bought the Cobra Kai dojo back for Johnny. Daniel states, I don't believe in this style. I believe in you. Sekai Taikai will have your Cobra Kai as champions. Daniel knows enough, finally, to... Okay, Cobra Kai doesn't have to be what it was years ago, not under the new management. That old passé Cobra Kai sentiment is full force back in the Iron Dragons dojo. Wolf telling Axel to show no mercy, even going so far as to break a student's arm in a spar, because Axel doesn't want to win that way. Silver even noticing his eyes for Sam, which may dilute his venom, so to speak. Wolf saying, the quitter? We don't seek approval of the weak. They fear us, and if they don't, we make them. Training montage! Daniel and the other kids, Cobra and Miyagi-Do, both helping Miguel and Tori train. Miguel at later with Johnny, sitting on that old stoop back in season 1, just the outside where the pizza is. Like, Miguel wants revenge. Johnny's like, no, don't go that route. That's how I lost in 84. Daniel, in 6 weeks, I had too much focus on revenge for all the stunts he pulled shit on him too, but he added his reasons for winning too. Being your sensei, Miguel's, has been the best thing I've ever done. Don't fight for revenge, or even me. Fight your way and honor what you've learned. Tori thanks the LaRussos for everything. No one besides my mom showed me that much kindness. I don't deserve all this good. Like Robbie, she had her own shit sandwiches to eat. I called her Hurricane Tori. Best believe she's hit and been hit by the debris of said hurricane. Some of her own doing, mostly just life in general. She's told by Daniel and Amanda, acknowledging your mistakes and moving on past them's the way to go. You're making good. And now we go to the Sekai Taikai Finals. Once again, 3 rounds, unlimited points. 1 for contact, 10 for takedown, 20 for knockout. Zara talks her shit in earshot with Tori before their match, trying to get in her head. Succeeding so far, it's 5-zip in favor of Zara at the end of round 1. Tori's off balance, knowing Zara's got the audience loving her. Robbie tells Tori, I love you, mwah, and no fucking mercy. Let's go! Hurricane Tori Typhoon Zara. Oof. And Hurricane's winning out strong. 2 knockdowns puts Tori over the top, and a knockout with some teeth included brings Cobra Kai's total to 155, 10 points behind Iron Dragons. So yeah, they're now second place. Daniel meets with Silver, who again tries to put the mental screws to Danny Boy, saying, Miyagi-Do's gonna be remembered as bridesmaids, while the dojo you work so hard to destroy will take the podium even if I lose. Daniel's like, yeah, don't bother me. Cobra Kai never dies. He's finally over it. It took all 6 fucking seasons for it, but he... Ooh. Yeah, we were a far cry away from how insufferable he was at the 1. He was the antagonist of season 1. Let's not kid ourselves on that. Miguel sees the acceptance letter of Sam heading to Okinawa. He's happy for her wanting what's best, Tell me all about it after I go kick some ass. The kiss which Axel sees, Wolf being only a recent addition to the Cobra Kai show, grossly misinforms Axel. No matter what Guy Miguel's got on, he's still Miyagi-Do. He'll be on the defense after what you did to his friend. I don't know about that. Cobra Kai OG. El Serpiente. He goes the first round against Axel scoreless, 5-zip. Silver tells Wolf to gotta flip this kid switch before we lose this whole damn tournament. Wolf tells Axel, if you lose, you're less than nothing. Axel scoring points to bring the score even, scoring a 10-point knockdown to end round 2. Now the Iron Dragons total are up by 20. Miguel's frustrated. Johnny says, hey, you had him, he had you. That's life. Points for pussies. Go out there and give every lesson you learned. Win or lose, go all in. Even going so far as to give Miguel his headband. You're Cobra Kai now. More pushing for Axel, and maybe Wolf is in the know, stating, his spine was damaged. When he pivots at roundhouse, you can break his back. Flashbacks throughout the whole seasons for Miguel. Axel taking a bit of a dive, it seems. Like, you can see the pivot, but he doesn't target the back. Fighting it his own way, too. Putting point after point before another 10-point knockdown to end round 3 and win both divisions, Cobra Kai. Axel finally tells his sensei, he's done. As Gunther tells us, the Sekai Taikai ends with the Cobra Kai tied with the Iron Dragons. There must be a winner. An overall champion must be determined in one final match. Sensei versus Sensei. Oh, shit, it's all on Wolf and Lawrence now. Johnny asks Daniel to sensei him for this upcoming final match, while Silver is no longer ready to leave anything to chance. On his yacht, he tells Dennis, go after the family, his wife and his newborn. Do it and the yacht is yours after I shuffle off this mortal coil. Dennis, reluctant a little bit, like, what? Burning down a store is one thing, but he mentions the yacht and everything, like, reluctantly, but he does goes up the stairs off the bottom of the yacht and gets thrown back down the stairs, busted open. A crack at the end. Ooh. I'm like, who did it? Was it Chris? Sure enough, you spotted Silver talking with the Lawrences earlier. You're like, yeah, I figured I'd put a stop to things. Silver's clearly spooked, broken bottle in hand. He's like, oh, come on. You gonna come at me with this and not karate? Silver's like, you still haven't shed your weakness. He turned you down again and again. Now it's Silver who's misinformed. Kreese tells Silver, nah. Johnny's my source of strength. Always was. A source of strength that has long surpassed his sensei. Kreese with a cigar flicks it in Silver's face and they go. Even knocking down some fuel canisters on the yacht. Silver gets the upper hand, about to choke the last bit of Kreese's life away, and Kreese gets the cigar again and throws it into the fuel. Kaboom! Whole yacht up in flames. We even get the... This is great. We even get, like, the... Silver providing the trophy. No! Kreese replying. Mercy. So how many gas canisters were on that boat for the whole fucking thing to explode it that quickly? There's not even a boat left afterwards. If Dennis wasn't dead before after the crack, he certainly is. He wasn't getting up from that. Call back to Winnie, to Chosen. Someone you know is gonna die. You know Silver. You fought him 2 seasons ago. Someone you know is gonna die. More than one person, even. And now, I'll call back to the first episode called Is Degenerate. We are Season 6, Episode 15, X Degenerate. I thought that sounded familiar. I had to double check. Flashback to a more broken Johnny in 2017, visiting his mom's grave, telling her, I thought I'd have my life together by now, but I'm finally trying to make good. But it only took one asshole to call me the loser to undo all that. After high school, no one's rooting for me like you did. God was right, I am a loser. Sure, I come to terms with that, the better. Sorry I let you down. That's Mama Laura, now in the present with his baby, Laura. Tells her, man, I got my second chance, finally, after 35 years. I can't blow it this time. So he's training hard with Daniel and Chosen. Daniel warns Johnny, find balance. A sensei knows when his student's off balance, so does a friend. Johnny tells Daniel, this second chance is just feels like some setup against a younger, faster, harder hitting opponent in Wolf. It's just going to label me a screw-up all over again. Daniel tells him, think of Rocky. Now, I know you're more of a Rocky 3 and 4 fan when the series got a little cartoonish pro wrestling, like just this side of 80s action movie schlock. Rocky 1 still holds up in my opinion and Daniel's. He trains his ass off. He loses the fight, but he knows he went the distance. Got to hold his lady in his arms at the end because that's what's important. Same with you. You got people who care about you, people in your corner. You're the best around. Final episode, we damn sure better bring that back for the montage. Amazing news at LaRusso's dinner. Stanford accepts Miguel. Lucille LaRusso gives Sam her graduation present. This pearl necklace that once belonged to Miyagi's mother. Miyagi's dad gave it to him to sell if he ever needed the money in America. Miyagi kept it, gave it to his wife. When she passed away in childbirth in an internment camp, a guard stole it. Flashback to that newspaper clipping of Miyagi beating somebody down. It wasn't a robbery, it was a get-back. Years later, Lucille, I got it from Miyagi before he passed. Now I'm giving it to you. Lucille even says the guard came at him when he asked about it, so yeah. Miyagi defense. And took it back. At the Sekai Taikai, a representative from Icon Branding gives Robbie and Tori a sponsorship. Travel the world, compete, teach. Everyone making good amends in these next few scenes. Yasmin gets back with Dimitri after he apologizes. Gunther looks at Daryl and says, you know what? You karate time the second Taikai hands him the mic. Maybe not so much good amends. When Wolf shows to psych out Lawrence, Johnny tells Wolf, I got family and friends. Wolf stating, those people will be there to hold you up after you go home on a stretcher. In time, your little one will be called a loser at school just like his old man. Johnny strikes first and Wolf blocks, just about to break his arm, states, I could do it here, but I'll save it for the cameras. Daniel LaRusso's gonna wear a Cobra Kai gi? Daniel LaRusso in a Cobra Kai gi! This is like Sting putting on the NWO colors to then reveal the red and black underneath. Cobra Kai are tweeners now. Well, Eagle Fang was in the red, so... Johnny Lawrence versus Feng Zhao, now Sensei Wolf. Johnny getting a taste of his own medicine all those years ago. No Mercy, like 1 and 3. It's like, there's some illegal hits. Chosen asked Daniel, gotta get him right in the Cobra Kai way. So Daniel pulls it all together, looks at Johnny, hey, what dojo you fighting for? Does the food exist in that dojo? Does fear? I sure shit no pain don't. Stop being a pussy and kick his shit in. Yes, sensei. Oh, it even ends with the sweep the leg. Like, he gets the first point, and then the second, when he, as Daniel taught him, you wait for him to come to you and strike, just like the crane kick, just like I taught you. And yeah, the leg sweep enough to throw Wolf off his game and win the Sekai Taikai. Gunther says it plainly and loudly for all to hear. Now the world's #1 dojo, Cobra Kai. Johnny celebrates with all, including Daniel, paying it forward with a, you're all right, Lawrence. Ah! Johnny and Carmen get their house. Binary Bros both go into Caltech. Robbie and Tori doing the spokesman thing for a sports drink. Chosen finds Dae-Un, both happy to see one another. LaRusso sees off Sam tearfully at the airport. Miguel's there to defer Stamford for a bit to go with Sam. He's like, hey, you're not wearing Miyagi's necklace. She's wearing the octopus one instead. The pulpo. Cobra Kai is filled to capacity according to Weekend Sensei Stingray for the youngest and beginners. I brought him in too. In a later session at the dojo, Johnny tells everyone, the new recruits, like me, you should also learn the defensive Miyagi-Do way that Sensei LaRusso mentors. I'll teach you the offense. I struggled with the 3 words on this wall behind me, but now I'll teach you what they mean. Strike first. Be aggressive. Strike hard. Give it your all. No mercy. Means not being Mr. Nice Guy, and that's the hardest one, because you can go too far with that, but if you're too nice, you get walked on. Miguel's world champion now, but he was once like you, a beta duckling. Through Cobra Kai, you'll be Alpha Swans. We get a post-Cobra Kai end with some guys who probably pitched the story of Cobra Kai, talking about doing a show set in Hill Valley alternate 1985. I didn't get the reference they were going for. I had to look this up, but yeah, it's possible Back to the Future TV show? A series of movies I'm sadly not familiar with all this time. I played the bad NES games. Anyway, Johnny and Daniel at a sushi restaurant even go so far in their relationship now for Daniel to let Johnny give him Anthony for Cobra Kai training, while Johnny says, Devin could use more of that Miyagi-Do defense. Might balance her out. Johnny's off to the bathroom while Daniel hears a fly buzzing and thinks, my beginner's luck in catching him with the chopsticks. Johnny claps the fly, dealt with bare hands. No mercy. And that concludes Cobra Kai the series. So, who do I pick for best character? There's so many options and returns making good these last 5 episodes. Everybody just doing their parts. But if any one person would get this, Kreese. He won out like I wanted him to. Back in Season 4, well teased in 5. We've been getting hints of it here and there. He went out the way he wanted, I believe, defending his son, Johnny. Screwed things up to such a degree he felt he had to right the wrong that was Silver. He brought him into this world of Cobra Kai. He had to be the one to take him out. I just felt like after the betrayal that he felt his time was coming. Like I thought he would get like the 6 months that Silver got. Ever since his prison stay, it looked like the sands of the hourglass was falling through him. He looked like, prepared to okay, this is my time. He tried to make good then. Didn't fully commit just yet. I think he had one more shot in the Dae-Un way. But then the as bad as the clutch was, the what happened with Quan really was the 180. He needed him okay, now it's you forgot the thing with war. People fucking die in war. And not always who you're looking to kill in war. And when he died, Kreese knew there was no going back for him. His no mercy edict finally went too far with consequences. He said as much to Dae-Un, uncharacteristically sending away Jun to save him from becoming another Quan or himself. He said too little too late. At least I can get him out of here. We don't see Jun again after that one. So maybe he went home and just kind of got out of that or no, I guess he would be under Dae-Un's tutelage now. They'll make good with him. Kreese tried to make some good in his final moments. Got to keep Johnny and what he built safe one final time. Worst character, it's not even close to say anyone other but Wolf and Silver. with Wolf, Axel realizes too little too late in his own way, and Zara had her up and coming, but remember the movie one quote, "No such thing as a bad student, just a bad teacher," and Wolf was the worst aspects of Kreese, Silver, and Dae-Un combined, even as he begrudgingly bowed to Johnny after his L. Ever since the 6-month sentence Silver got, I figured he was going to end up taking the main villain ring near the end, and sure enough did. I was worried Dae-Un was going to go out this way when she offed her granddad, who was eerily proud of her granddaughter, finally stepping up and taking out an old man in battle rather than peacefully dropping off. He lived like the Kurgan, better to burn out than to fade away. It's clear her experiences with Chosen will help to curb her villainous ways, I think. Maybe she realized it too, and she'll lead her sect of Cobra Kai her way. Time will tell if her methods make it worldwide, perhaps a setup for a future Sekai Taikai down the line. Silva's probably number 2, because I'm of the opinion that if Kreese never found him and never messed with him and all that, got it in his head, he'd still be retired and probably dying peaceably in his mansion. Who knows if among his medications he was taking back then were to mitigate something. Now, off of them or his new hands-on lifestyle exacerbated something. Well, we see in a scene, he like karate kicks one medication away. Maybe he was always sick and Kreese dangling the carrot Silver eventually bit. Could be Dynatox Industries related, just saying. Either way, he went from that, though, to, well, let's just kidnap Johnny's wife and newborn daughter. Just a fucking win. Yeah, something Wolf never even knew about. Would he have gone with it? Maybe. Again, even Dennis had some reservation for going along with it. I somehow missed the crunch the first time Dennis landed. I'm like, oh, he's not getting up from that. Perhaps the most tragic villain in all of Cobra Kai, not named Kreese, and ended up going out being the most irredeemable. He has been a cheat for all of it, so I figured something was gonna go off. Daniel and Johnny's meeting with him said as much. Something goes south, he's gonna go lower. And now, well, he ends up lower in hell now. The only power off I have is, I'm usually surprised by the events of this series, but as you heard in my scripted review here, some of what was coming I called. More than once for me, and it's just like, okay. To this show's defense, I couldn't have predicted the journey, just the end destination for some. Like, you knew some way Cobra Kai was going to end on top. I wish I could have seen the tie coming, but then I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, Johnny's going to get his dub after 35 years. Which brings me to the power on, is seeing things just become full circle. I always say each season had a setting, a theme. This one with any series finale, closure. The circle completing. I almost wanted there to be like a scene where when he pulls out the Fool, Zero, in the Major Arcana, the Fool has to go through from start to finish. The Fool completes his journey. Endings, some more definitive than others. We started this series with Cobra Kai starting to return under Johnny Lawrence. We ended season 1 as such, and now we're ending the series as such. It took a long while from start to finish. He won and lost. Went Eagle Fang, Miyagi-Do, made good on a lot of relationships, earned his way through all seasons. Because who doesn't love a good redemption arc? Now Johnny gets Cobra Kai practically all to himself. I doubt Dae-Un's going to get involved, but maybe she too will be able to do it her way alongside Chosen's Miyagi-Do. Maybe why not have them do the offense-defense thing that Johnny and Daniel agreed to? Full circle also in the fight with Wolf. Daniel won his tournament because his enemy came to him and struck. He didn't strike first. Strike first didn't work at the movie. Johnny won just the same way. He struck second. Not making the same mistake he made in the back when Wolf was talking shit. So I binged this season 6 finale as well as all of What We Do in the Shadows. I think this won out in my opinion. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was like by the time I finished What We Do in the Shadows, like I did this first and then just on my own What We Do in the Shadows afterwards. I'm like, ugh. It came around like 5, 6 a.m. afterwards by the time I finally got through all of it. Kind of meh. Just a lot of the same old, same old. It was a happy ending, yay, but most definitely pales in comparison to Cobra Kai's finale, in my opinion. And yet, it's not really the finale, is it? I can hope that maybe that new movie will shed some light on what happens after. It's set 4 months after and may tie in with the Cobra Kai series, or at least LaRusso with the events of the Karate Kid remake with Jackie Chan. Once I can get a hold of the newest movie, I guess I can review that one too. Man, I can't believe this. I avoid the obvious pothole that was the next Karate Kid, only so I can get monkey's pawed into the Karate Kid movie with no karate in it. But anyway, Karate Kid Legends, May 30th in theaters. Gotta see where I can get to it after the fact. So this isn't goodbye completely for Cobra Kai days just yet. But for the Cobra Kai TV series, it's a wrap. With that said, take care, and thanks for watching. Did I use that one already? Whatever, play me out!